This is in response to week two's assignment on describing your technology environments. And I thought that you guys introduced a number of interesting issues. I think one of the most important one is how accessible is the technology that you're using in your teaching. For many of us, we take internet access for granted, but there are many regions in the United States that have very poor internet access, DSL or slower, and of course there are many regions across the globe in which internet access is not a given. So if you don't have internet access, you certainly can still use technology, but you have to carefully consider how information will be exchanged between students and instructor and amongst students themselves, and whether students will be able to access remotely deployed resources. And it's not only just access to the internet that's important. Equally as important is access to the core technology themselves. So several of you pointed out how you may have one or two iPads or computers in your classroom that should serve the need for multiple students. Now, not too long ago, this was a pretty standard mode of classroom technology development. But today the assumption is that more heavy, consistent use of technology by all students will lead to stronger learning outcomes. So while you certainly can deploy 1 to 2 devices amongst, let's say, 10 to 15 to 20 different students, the students ideally would be better served if they all had access to their own technology platforms. But of course, this gets into issues of cost and then later on issues of support. And is this something that the school provides the students, or are the students expected to purchase the technology on their own? A few of you commented on the sophistication of the technology that you would use in your classroom. And I like the idea of using the simplest technology possible to accomplish a specific task. Michael really emphasized that in his response. He said that in the locales in which he is delivering his instruction, internet accessibility isn't necessarily the norm, and what internet accessibility there is strictly capped. So as a result, he relies more heavily on very low overhead technologies such as email and even removable media to exchange digital content. And then finally, several of you touched on issues of technology support. General ratio, according to Gartner, is one IT person per 60 to 80 employees. Obviously, you rarely will ever see that in higher education, and one of you noted that there were 2 tech support people for 700 employees, 700 students, or 700 users. Wasn't quite clear on the number, but the ratio was huge. So as the number of technology devices that are employed increase, then the issue of management becomes very critical. You can manage by hiring lots and lots of bodies to take care of the technology, or you can deploy a variety of different automated management resources that will largely take care of the technology without a lot of human intervention. But then this, of course, requires a certain amount of device standardization. And several of you did point out that there is a wide range of devices in use in your classrooms. I think what the responses did was point out how complicated it is to introduce technology into a teaching environment, whether the environment is corporate-based or classroom-based, and that issues of support and issues of accessibility are paramount, probably even more important than upfront technology cost or initial technology deployment. Very good work. I was very much impressed with your writing this week. Upload your writing to your websites and edit accordingly, and I think we have some really good material.